Hey there, healthcare humans. Just a friendly morning reminder that when you hear other people describing something that doctors do, for example, I'm a family doctor, and recently on my podcast, I had someone come on that talked about like different kinds of primary care healthcare systems in other parts of the world. And the language she used was like family doctors in the Netherlands do all these different procedures for themselves. They don't refer them to specialists like we do here in Ontario and Canada. And I actually heard from quite a number of you that enjoyed the episode overall, but felt really bad or really defensive about the reasons why you couldn't personally do all the things and all the procedures, and that you personally were referring out to specialists instead of doing it all yourself. I just want to remind you that we have this like shame-based inhuman story, this inhuman thought pattern that when we hear, understandably, because the way usually people say it is like, why don't family doctors do more? Why can't family doctors see me as soon as I want them to be seen? Like they personalize it. And so then we personalize it and be like, I am a bad family doctor because I can't do all these things. Reminder to everyone, it's not the people, it's the system. It's not you, family doctors, it's the system around you. So there must be something about the Netherlands where they either appropriately remunerate procedures. Here in Ontario, if I want to do, for example, an IUD procedure, I do it at a loss for my patients. Like financially, it's a loss. The equipment and supplies cost more than the bill I get from OHIP. For example. So one thing that the system could do, if the system really wants us to not refer out to specialists, is pay us different amounts for the things they want us to do. There could be more funding for supplies. There could be more funding for staff. There could be more of us in general so that we have more of the work to spread around. There could be a difference in what we are allowed to say yes or no to within primary care. For example, the absolutely banana out of controls, no regulation about the number of sick notes and forms that work can demand that we do for our patients, for example. Like those are features that are not our fault, that are not our responsibility. They are a system problem. It's not you, it's the system. So that is important to do. So then hopefully that helps bring the relief of that shame and guilt. But then interestingly enough, what can happen is if you're kind of like, right, it's not me, it's the system. It's not me, it's the system. Then you can get feeling kind of helpless and hopeless. Like, but now I'm a part of the system that isn't supporting me. And so now I just feel disempowered and helpless to actually make any changes. And we're going to hold these two ideas at the same time. It's not you, it's the system. But while the system figures out how to change, and in fact, I think one of the most powerful ways that we can induce the system to change is by changing our choices within that system. So one of my hypotheses is that most family doctors, I think most folks working in healthcare, are overworking. I know certainly for us family docs, we feel guilt-induced, we feel shame, we feel this sort of urge and sense of obligation to do more work than our bodies feel happy to do. We do more work than our energy really allows. We do more work than we wish to. We wish we could actually have some energy and time to spend with other pursuits, time for ourselves, time for our families, but we feel like we have to overwork. That is a system feature because there's not enough of us. And because we've internalized it, we think that's somehow our fault. And so we have to pretend to be three people when we're only one person. So one of the ways we can change the system is by stopping the overwork, therefore working less, working an amount that's actually at a sustainable amount and pace for our bodies and our body's capacity day to day. And in doing that, first of all, we don't have to wait for the system to change for us to feel better. Trust me, as I have found the right amount to work that is under my maximum capacity, I enjoy family medicine again. I really love it. And I think I bring my highest quality self to my job, to my patients. And I'm also like kind of sending a signal. Imagine all of us in family medicine worked exactly what the amount we want to, the amount that feels good for our bodies, there would be an even more glaring deficit that would let the system know they need a new solution other than just relying on the overstretching and overworking of the humans in the system. That seems to be at least one of the default strategies happening right now, and it's not working because we're overstretching, we're overworking, and then we're burning out, and then we're leaving, and it's making the problem worse. So we can make the problem worse that way, where it's still the problem gets worse either way, if you notice. Like less patients get helped either way, either overstretch, overwork, and then leaving, so then patients don't have a family doctor, or we start to, you could say, underwork. We work at our capacity. We work according to our pace. So yes, less patients likely get seen. We can therefore have our brains back to think innovatively of ways that patients can access care that don't involve our bodies and our labor. And so potentially we mitigate still having more patients seen than if we left altogether, for sure. And in the meantime, the system gets an accurate representation of exactly the capacity of their current workforce. They have a happy workforce because we're all actually working the amount that we want to. We have capacity to listen to changes they propose and say yes or no to them. And then the system can actually change. You see it? So changing our relationship to the current system changes the system. And it's still not our individual responsibility, certainly, to make up for the deficits of our system. No, that's actually what we have to stop doing in order for the system to actually change.